Hey, welcome into module 2. In this module, we're going to talk about disruption and how you can say time out and stop the programming that's been happening and then make room for the new programming so that you can move into confidence in everywhere you go. We don't want to live with lack of confidence. We want to live with an abundance of confidence. So this is really going to move you forward, I hope. It's got some questions that you can answer. You don't have to answer them as you go, but it's helpful to kind of jot down some notes. You're going to want to take some time with this and take some time with this section. It's a big one because it's kind of getting over that hurdle, that disrupting the patterns that were happening so that you can have more confidence, so you can feel what it is to feel not confident, and then move through that. And so if that sounds good to you, just let's dive in. So here's the thing. Vision is really important. You got to get clarity on what you're doing, why you're doing it. If you were going to go to a wedding in California, you would set your GPS. And if the GPS quit working as you're driving across country, you wouldn't stop in Mississippi and just say, okay, I guess I'm not going to get there. No, you would figure it out because you want to go to the wedding. You have a vision of getting to where it is you want to go. And so you're going to do what it is you need to do to get there. So the same with your life. What is your vision? What is your vision for your life? What's your vision for your life in 1 year? Where do you want to see yourself a year from now? Here's an exercise that I do with my private clients is I ask them to write a letter to themselves about what they want to say to themselves for sticking in the game, for good for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud that you didn't give up. And I want them to write that letter back to themselves. And then they end up mailing that letter to me. And then at some point in time, at the perfect time, I end up mailing the letter back to them, and they open it and they read it and they wow, I really wrote this to myself. So you can do that. It's very effective. You can mail it to me if you want to. But I just want to tell you that it's a very effective tool to write yourself a letter, or put it in an envelope, or give it to somebody, or mail it to me. So one of the questions I want you to ask yourselves is, if I don't hesitate, I believe that I would blank. What is it that you would do if you didn't hesitate? If you just said, you know what, if I don't hesitate, I am going to, what is that? Because your world's different than mine. I'm a speaker, author, coach. I help people get funding for small businesses. I help them get that 0% financing at no hit to their credit so that they can blow up their business. Some people are like, well, I don't even know. Maybe I just want 20,000. Well, what if you hire a coach? What if you get a program? What if you want to have a monthly buffer, and you need $50,000? Let's see what it looks like. It's just a blueprint. I help people get the blueprint. Just think about it. If you're starting a business, you're going to be like growing a hair salon. You go to a bank, but you've never done it before. The bank is not going to take a risk on you. So they don't like startups. But I work with a company where I'm a CEO funding partner, and we love startups. We love to help you get the money that you need to grow your business so that you can take what you're investing in at 0% financing and grow your business. And then you can take it out in unsecured lines of credit and all that kind of thing. But that's for another conversation. And if you want to talk to me about that, let me know. So today, I really want you to answer that question. If I don't hesitate, I believe that I would. What is that for you? You really want to think about that. So this one's a big module because we're disrupting the pattern that we have. We're saying time out when the things that are going on in our head are super negative and they're not serving us or anybody else, right? When I did a leadership training and I took the leadership training, we had to walk around to different groups and give feedback, honest feedback. And sometimes that feedback was really hurtful because in my life, most people have been very supportive or they'll say something kind. But when they don't really mean it, it doesn't really help you. So I learned to take criticism of like, that was really weak, or that wasn't very good, or you needed to, emphasize more. And at first I was really mad because I thought, well, who are they to think that they know more than I do? Even though I talked to you earlier about not caring about what other people think. But here's what I did learn is I took things in as tricks and tips. And I started to appreciate when people would give me feedback. They weren't doing it to be mean. They were just giving me feedback. And if I didn't like it, that was on me. It was my responsibility. I'm the one that can react however I want to react. So if I choose to get all cranky and mad and why did they say that? Then that's who I'm going to be, and that's how I'm going to show up in life. But if I choose to go, I wonder why they said that. That was pretty helpful. And it hurts your feelings. Good. Why do I say good? Because you need to feel what it feels like to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I don't want anybody to hurt your feelings, but that's the problem, that we don't want anybody to hurt our feelings. And so learning is about doing. You think if you're in the army and you don't do it right, they're going to help you do it right. Oh, they're going to help you do it right. So ask yourself this question. What is one thing right now that you could do differently today, this week, that could make your life better? What's one thing? Drink more water. Maybe take some weights and pump them 10 times. Maybe walk 2 miles. I don't know. Write 3 pages in a journal. Buy some healthier food. What is one thing that you could do differently this week that would help you have a better life? What is that? One thing, you need to think about it. But if we put vision at the forefront of everything that we do, we make our vision what it's all about. We get clarity on why we want to do things. Sometimes it's our legacy. What is our legacy? What do we want our legacy to be? Do we want our legacy to be somebody that just had a good life and did whatever they want? Okay, that's fine. Or do we want our legacy to be a person that decided to grow in a new direction and do different things and experience lots of different parts of life that they never would have experienced, that they contribute back at a much greater level than they ever could have? Because I knew that giving $10 and $20 was helpful. And I knew that if I could give $10,000 and $20,000, that would be more helpful. And I knew that if I could start writing checks that would amount up to $100,000 every single year, that would really be helpful. So I set that as part of my legacy of what I wanted to do. Is I want to be somebody who doesn't necessarily make $100,000 a year, but I want to be able to give back $100,000 a year. So when I'm doing that, believe me, I'm making a salary that I feel happy, a salary, an income that I feel happy about. You see, 40 years of working 9 to 5, I'm going to go back into old programming words that I have to time out and disintegrate. So you get to do this time out and disintegrate too. But you really have to act as if it's already happened. You have to act as if you're already making that $50,000 a month. You're already making that $100,000 a month, if that's what you want. You have to already act as if you're there so that you can feel it, you can see it, you can smell it. It's part of who you are every single day. You already know. And so what's available to you? What do you want to be available to you? Here's some questions that I would like for you to answer. 1, what is it that you really want? What is it that you really want in life? Now, some people are going to get stuck on that question because I don't really know what I really want. Well, I'm asking you what you really want. What would make you happy? What would you actually do to feel outstanding every single day and really have it be genuine and not superficial? And number 2, what are you most excited about? Right now in your life, what are you most excited about? If you're stuck on this question, it's because you haven't allowed yourself to dream for a while. You've just been putting your head down, doing what you need to do. Maybe you're going to a 9-to-5, coming home, doing the routine. Maybe you're a parent. Maybe you're dealing with lots of kids' things. Maybe you're taking care of an elderly parent. Maybe you're doing everything all at once. Maybe you don't even feel excited about anything anymore. But if money were no object, what is it that you would be most excited about doing? Think about it. Answer these questions not because I'm asking you, but because they're going to pull something out of you that you might not even know is there. And let me ask you this. What's missing in your life right now? If you think there's a relationship that you want that's missing, or, if you've lost children or you've lost significant others, this is a really hard question, and you go right to the people. But if circumstances can't really change, but what is missing in your life that would bring you happiness? That even might be a better question. Even though these are the circumstances and they haven't changed, what's missing that could bring you happiness, that you could incorporate into your life? And what does this have to do with confidence? Because it's all these things that we believe. It's all based on our belief. Our lives are on the path they're on based on the beliefs that we have. And if we don't believe that we can deserve this, if we don't believe that we can have things, if we don't get excited about things, then it's really hard to know it's really hard to have that confidence to go after it. So number 4 is, what is one thing that you need to change right now in your life? What's the one thing? And then you can go out 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, those things that you want to have. But I'm all about living right here and now, grateful for this day, not living this day as if it's the last day of my life. I hope that it's not. I hope that it's not for you. But also recognizing that it can be. That if we focus on the little things, if we worry about all that and we stress about that it takes away from the joy that we get to have. Most people spend their time taking a calendar and then Xing out the days, getting through the days. Got to get through this day instead of circling their days and bringing joy into the circle, seeing every day how much joy they can add to the circle and how much joy they can project out to other people. So that's really cool to know. There's a question that I would ask is, one thing that you're secretly afraid of, that you're avoiding, but if you faced it and you dealt with it, it would create a breakthrough in your life. What is that? What is that one thing that if you faced it and dealt with it, it would create a breakthrough? Remember when I talked about just, holding that skeet gun and just breaking through? I was trembling. When I first held a microphone, I was trembling. How did I get through that? My gosh, I went to New York City and spoke. I'm speaking in Dubai in November. I'm speaking in Paris in February. So there's things that you have to get through, but I never could be there if I hadn't gotten here first. I'm not saying that I'm just showing you that you need to feel it. You need to feel that fear. You need to get into it, and you need to move through it. In that leadership course that I took, there were 3 parts. The first part was awareness. We had to be aware of who we are. And I didn't realize, I was in a blame mode for a long time. Like, wow, that person did that, and so now my life is this, or that person. I was blaming a lot. I didn't take responsibility for myself. I had a self-righteousness, and that was because I always felt like my voice wasn't heard, and so I would get self-righteous about it so that I could be heard. No one was going to put you in the corner, right? But it didn't really serve me, because I also created an anger and an attitude. When I disintegrated the self-righteousness, out came a confidence that was sincere. But you have to be aware of how you come across to people and how you really show up for yourself, and how eye-opening that is. And clarity for your life, for what you want, is power. When you add in clarity for what you're doing, why you're here, what you want to achieve while you're here, what you want to take away, what you want to give away, all of that creates a joyful effort that creates a confidence. And you really can't turn it off once you start to get it. There's no self-righteousness left in me, but there is definitely a confidence in meeting people now. I used to be intimidated by meeting somebody that had 3 degrees and was this and that and everything. And now I just say, hello, my name is Margie. How are you? And I introduce myself not on the same level, but certainly not with all these preconceived ideas or notions. I just have to let that go. So introduce yourself as a person, and don't be worried about that. There's a higher level of confidence that comes with being conscientious about everything that's around you. So when you are vibing at a higher level, when you're eating at a more healthy level, when you're drinking the water that you're supposed to drink, and having that, when you have your own schedule for your life. Now, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you have to go, or you have to be online for a certain amount of hours every day, that can be exhausting. And a lot of people do it, and that's great if that's covering the bills and that's serving you in life. If you know that there's something more, I used to sit at my desk, and Jim Rohn would say, if you're working on your job full-time and your fortune part-time, and you want to flip that, in no time you'll be working on your fortune full-time and your job part-time, until you're simply working on your fortune full-time. And I moved through every one of those phases because that's what I wanted. But you have to decide what you want. Your impacting the world might be different than my impacting the world. But it's all about that beating heart inside of you that scares you. And it scares you because what if you get it wrong? What if you don't do it right? But you get to be someone who makes mistakes, and it's okay. You get to be forgiving. If in this world now where we're on Zoom all the time and people don't show up, and it's annoying, right? They don't show up on time, and you've texted them and you've called them. I used to be that person that would be like, I'm waiting. But now I'm like, hey, we were scheduled for a Zoom at this time. I'm hoping that everything is okay. Please let me know. Here's my calendar. Let's reschedule. Now, if they do it twice, then no. But once, I give them a break. And that's a change in how I'm thinking. It's a change in the mindset. And so by that change, I've become more confident, that it's not about me. And if I text somebody, and they don't text me back, or I left a message and they didn't get back, I used to be that person that would say, they never got back to me. I texted them. I can't believe I haven't heard from them. What are they doing that's more important And then, just can't they at least text me back in 3 days? Because I made it about me. But when I made it about them, I might leave a second message and say, hey, I know that messages get lost all the time. Just want to make sure you got mine. Trying to reach out to talk to you about blah. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was at the hospital with my daughter. She had surgery. It didn't go well. I had to go there. My mind hasn't been where it's supposed to be. Oh my gosh, if I had made a big deal about them not showing up for a Zoom. So you got to get it. You got to get right. Like, it's not always about us, and not you get to drive your car of where it's going. You get to decide. You get to be the one with the keys to your happiness, to your confidence, to your success. So this module is about disrupting the pattern, putting a timeout in it, saying, you know what? All what's in my head right now is not really how I want to show up. So I want to disrupt it. I want to throw it away, and I want to start all over. And if you think that things that make you unhappy are, or what you want your life to be, okay, you can do that. But if you're trying to make your life align with who you really are inside and who you want and what you want to be, you're going to be confident all the time. You're going to have a way about you that just feels like it's not me that they're not getting back to. Those 4 agreements, the second one is never take it personally. So I'm going to end this one. We're going to go into the next one, which is actually talking about next level living and how we get there, and how you're going to start living there. And before the 4th one, oh my gosh, we're just going to blow it out. And I hope that you can blow it out for the things that you want to do in your life. So we'll see ya in the next module. Head over. All right, see you in a minute.